Carla, big win for you tonight. I know this was an important one for you, but you had a little chance to soak it in and decompress a little bit. How do you feel about the fight?
I feel amazing. I haven't really gotten a chance to go back and watch it yet, but my right shin hurts, so I'm glad Game Plan was to go in and use the leg kick game a lot, which I feel I was able to execute. So I feel good about the fight.
Can you talk about the game plan? Because I think a lot of us, as we were breaking this fight down, thought, well, if you're going to win, it's going to be because your wrestling proves to be the strength. So did you know all along you weren't really going to turn to that as much tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I knew she had a really good ground game, really good scrambly, flexible game. So definitely didn't want to have that be our only option. So definitely was planning to, stand up a little bit more and trade with her. And she caught me off guard a little bit in the first round when she went for that takedown, but we were able to come back with it.
Yeah. You're always pretty polite leading up to a fight, but now that it's in the rearview mirror, I mean, can you admit that maybe there was a little chip on your shoulder? I mean, here's this girl that's, only been fighting a year and a half, and she seems to be the it thing, and, maybe you weren't getting the respect you deserved?
Yeah, people kind of say that, but for me, I don't really look at it that way. I just love to fight, and for me, even being an underdog is not just motivation. I don't really take it as a negative. It gives me more reason to prove people wrong.
Right. And last thing for me, I know that you didn't want to talk about Rose, talk about the title, that sort of thing, but I mean, there's an interesting history there, and this is a big win over somebody that was on the rise. I mean, do you feel that you should at least be in that discussion?
Yeah, I mean, I feel I belong in the discussion, definitely. I mean, holding a win over the current champ and, having a good performance tonight, I definitely feel like I should be part of that conversation. But, whatever the UFC wants from me next, I'm game.
Cynthia was fairly vocal after the fight. She was standing outside of the octagon, sort of calling it bullshit. Just did you see that, and what were your thoughts when you saw that?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You never know what the judges are really going to say, and so when you're waiting for that decision to be announced, you're kind of but I mean, I felt I had definitely got the last 2 rounds, and yeah, when I was talking to Joe, I heard some boos, and I was like, are they booing for me? What's going on? But my coaches said she was actually I won that, kind of to the crowd, and they were like, nah, that's not the case. And then my coach was like, raise your hands right now when we walk out. Everyone was like, yeah, so,
Well, and just on that sort of topic, I mean, I know you guys try to block out whatever you can, but the crowd seemed firmly on your side throughout the fight. I mean, did you hear that? Were you conscious of that?
Not too much. I actually, I heard one of the fans say something like, step to your right, step to your right. I was kind of like, okay. But overall, I hear the crowd a little bit. I definitely kind of try and tune it out and focus on my coach's voices, though.
Then is it particularly rewarding winning a fight like that, where you did sort of start slow in that first round and, got to show your toughness a little bit by overcoming that?
Yeah, I think it shows my toughness and my experience, because I've been fighting pro for 8 years now, and I've had a lot of adversity throughout my career. I've had around 20 fights, so I think I've been in deep water before, and I think coming back from that just goes to show my experience.
Carla, at the end, the first round, you kind of spent a lot of time on your back, but at the end of the round, there was a sort of wild scrambling affair where you got on top and the crowd seemed to really be in your favor. Could you feel the momentum change at that time, and then how did that really help you go into the second and third rounds?
Yeah, I mean, I felt the momentum change, but I definitely knew I had to go and come out strong in those last 2 rounds. And, even though she was in top position and, probably in the eyes of the judges, gave her that round, I felt that, I definitely was worried about her ground game. And, obviously if she's in that dominant position and couldn't really hurt me too much, I felt confident going back to the ground with her.
Hi, Carla, to your left. Obviously the story of the night is what you were able to do on your feet, but there were a couple of takedowns that you secured that were kind of nice punctuators. In your mind, in the middle of a fight like that, do you feel like when you hit those takedowns, whether or not it stays on the ground very long at all, that's actually a nice punctuator for the judges that could have really made a little extra impact?
Definitely. I mean, takedowns are huge. It's hard to really know what judges kind of score more or less. But to me, like hitting a takedown is a little bit harder than, you know, like hitting out one successful jab or something. I mean, it's a lot of work. You know, you're getting that position. So yeah, I definitely feel that the judges look highly on that, but you never know. It depends where you're at too, because I've had a fight before where I had a lot of takedowns and the judges weren't really taking it into account.
Hey Carla, that was the first loss of Cynthia's career. Is there any advice that you would give her in terms of how she would be able to bounce back from this?
I guess it's hard to give her advice because she's been fighting a relatively short time professionally, and I've seen like a big improvement in her game. You know, I definitely she had a lot of hype behind her, but I think it's deserved because she's come out and had these really good victories. So I guess just keep improving, keep doing what you've been doing.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you.